So for today we're going to look at the gig economy, and primarily we're going to be looking at it from an HR perspective, so thinking about employees. But the gig economy is a term we use to describe business that occurs using apps. So examples would be things like Uber. So you want a taxi, you go onto the app and you book your taxi, and the Uber organisation behind the app will contact the driver and send the driver to you. So gig economy describes any kind of business that takes place by using an app in that way. Everything's all arranged through the app. Not just taxi drivers, not just taxis, but it can be used for lots of different services. Another common example would be ordering up food. So Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, all of these organisations, it's the same kind of thing. The restaurants, takeaway services will advertise their menus, their services, their products on the app. If you're looking to order your dinner, you would look at the app, decide what you want, decide who you're going to put the order with, but ultimately it's all managed through an app, and all of this buying and selling that's taking place is all done through an app. So we have a definition here of the gig economy given by the UK government, but hopefully my explanation has helped to make it easy for you to understand. So thinking about the gig economy, we're thinking about the different types of people that are covered by it, and who's covered and who's not. It's created lots of tension, lots of conflict in different countries across the world, as the companies using the apps are arguing that the people that are providing the services are not employees, and it's caused lots of tension, lots of conflict. And there was a case last year where Uber was banned in London. London was not allowing Uber to run a taxi service in London because of how they were managing the business. So in terms of the gig economy, it includes individuals, people completing tasks using platforms. So exactly what we're talking about: Uber, the taxi drivers, TaskRabbit, people per hour is more if you want to offer a service. So it could be you want to offer personal assistant services, or you want to offer cleaning services. You might advertise, or you might use the app to promote yourself to get business. And it generally is a provision of labour rather than services, but you can use services as well. So if you're a freelancer and you are looking to try and generate business to provide an income for yourself, you can use the apps as well. So one of the key features of the gig economy is it is all done through the use of an app. As it says, people in the gig economy, it's the main source of their income, but sometimes people might look to supplement their income in other ways. One of the criticisms of the gig economy is that the app providers, let's say Uber for example, will ask the service users to rate the service they've received. How good was a taxi? Was he on time? And they add up all these ratings. They use analytics within the apps to analyse the ratings that are coming back. So they then rate the service providers. So if you're a taxi driver with Uber and you've got a really high rating, you're going to get more work. If you are providing domestic cleaning services and again you're getting really high ratings, you will get more work. Okay, so that's how these apps work within the gig economy, but it's a growing area. It's so easy just to pick up your phone and look up an app and order whatever it is that you're looking for and do it all through the app. Don't have to think about it. But as we've seen, there are some downsides to it as well. So the people who are not covered by the gig economy is people who are using a traditional employment agency, for example. They may use platforms such as LinkedIn or online job websites, but they're not using an app as such. That's one of the key differences. And it's not going to cover people that are buying or selling on eBay, things like that either. It is people who are looking for goods and services that are expecting other contractors with Just Eat. Your contract's not with a taxi driver, for example. Your contract is with Uber. And that's the difference. eBay are the platform for you to buy and sell, but your contract is with the person selling the products. Okay? Self-employed people who are using websites to advertise their products, or more traditionally using newspapers or advertising on the radio and those sorts of things. That's not the gig economy. The gig economy does not cover the promotion of business through the internet. It's very, very limited. It is just focused on using apps to do the business. Equally, there are some companies that will make apps available to their employees, or they may use other platforms, company websites, things like that, so they can engage with their employees. And I know some companies use apps because employees want to use their phones. They like using their phones, particularly younger employees. So the companies will respond to that and will try to engage. Even just thinking about something like Teams. We're all using Teams for classes just now because of COVID. So if my employer wants to communicate with me, they can use Teams. But it's obviously a much bigger platform. It's also on the computer. But that does not make it part of the gig economy because I've got a direct relationship with the college that employs me. Okay, so in some respects it sounds like a really good thing. The gig economy is fairly recent. It's growing. It's getting really important. And it does allow people to communicate and interact, and it's allowing small independent freelancers to generate and get more business than perhaps they would if they were competing in a bigger marketplace with bigger players. But it has been criticised because of its lack of stability. You don't know if your ratings drop, you might not get business. So you don't know how much business you're going to get. You don't know when the jobs are coming in. As I've discussed already, there's lots of issues around about employment rights, about employment status of workers within the gig economy. They don't have any security. There is no provision, generally speaking, there's no provision of learning and development to workers within the gig economy. It's expected that if you want learning and development, if you want training, you're expected to go out and get that for yourself. It's not going to be provided to you. And because of that, and because of the nature of the job, it's very difficult to plan for the future, and you don't really have any career progression. There's nowhere to go beyond what you're doing currently. But on the other side of it, depending on why you're in the gig economy, it may offer lots of flexibility, which what some employees will be looking for. And if that's what you're looking for, you may be quite happy not to have the job security. If this is something that's just to allow you to generate some additional income, you don't want to be tied down to a particular organisation, you might be quite happy with that. Okay, so it will vary from person to person, and it will depend on your own particular experience. A concern for me at the moment would be that while it's offering all this flexibility, given the current situation, given the lack of job security that's available for a lot of people today, the gig economy is something that may attract more people to come and work in the gig economy because they can't find anything more stable. It's their only option. They don't have an option to do something else. And people may be forced or feel forced into that, following through on that route. So it's not necessarily something that's going to appeal to everybody. But given the current economic climate in the country, in the world, it is possible that we may see more and more people being employed within the gig economy.